We are live at a railway crossing near Dupont and Dufferin. Just under an hour ago, a huge crowd was actually blocking this CP freight line. They had been here since 11:30 this morning, stopping a train in its tracks. They had joined protests right across Canada, standing in solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en First Nation in BC. And over the past 2 days, they have managed to disrupt travel plans right across Ontario. Starting at Dovercourt Park in the city's West End, protesters spilled onto Dupont Street, blocking traffic, marching to the closest railway crossing, and while chanting, holding signs, and lighting a green smoke bomb, they blocked the tracks. Together, stopping a train on a CP freight line, which in turn blocked a Barrie track, forcing the suspension of some GO train services.
These corridors, they all run through Indigenous land, and this is the thing. The government has to know that the Indigenous people, this is still their land, whether they believe so or not, and we have to make this message clear that enough is enough.
The protests have escalated across the country. From coast to coast, supporters standing with the Wet'suwet'en First Nation and against what they call the RCMP invasion of their land in BC.
We are blocking the tracks here in Toronto today to disrupt Canada, to shut down Canada until the RCMP stand down from the Wet'suwet'en attack.
On Thursday, the RCMP began its enforcement of an injunction against a blockade by the Wet'suwet'en and their supporters in BC as they oppose the construction of a natural gas pipeline and fight to protect natural resources on the land.
It's not only the Wet'suwet'en who are against the invasion of Indigenous lands and the expansion of a fossil fuel industry in the middle of a climate crisis. They're not alone. We all don't want this project.
Via Rail also cancelling services between Toronto, Ottawa and Montreal after they say protesters surrounded Belleville tracks for the second day in a row.
My reaction was, how did this happen?
At Union Station, passengers stranded as they try and make their way home.
I have all these bags, it's
so much like
yeah, exactly. So that's why if I were to book, I have to book a flight, and then it's going to cost me twice as much just for the luggage.
I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with the strike, the issues. I'm all for that. Mm-hmm. I don't like this much because it's just very hard for me to get home.
Via Rail has been compensating passengers and refunding their tickets. It's unclear at this point if service will resume between those three cities tomorrow, but Via Rail tells its customers to check its website and emails as the situation evolves.